friends can also be abusive. Let me tell you, the second a man even does this, that's manipulation. Or this perceive, even like if I feel abused, whether I've been abused or no.
Yeah.
Narcissist, manipulative, gaslighter, abusive, da. But your friend.
Hi guys, Murugi Muni here.
It's Lydia KM.
And we're back again with another episode of
The Messy In Between.
It's definitely TMI. You see, she's not looked at the wide, and that's, you see, I knew. You just looked at me. You see?
Is it my fault you're gorgeous?
At the heart
is it
of
my
it.
fault that you look this regal? Is it?
And actually, we need to start assessing the underlying. Why do we have to listen to Berry when she says, look at this camera? Is that not bullying?
But as in, maybe because she's our production head. But you know, I don't know.
Yeah, but
it could be bullying.
Let's
it
query
could be.
these underlying things. That's it.
But what's here?
The meat of the issue. Anyway, hi guys, welcome to this new episode. We hope that you are doing fantastic. We hope that you're having a great week so far. Actually, you could be watching this on a Wednesday or a Monday or a Sunday. Whatever point it finds you, we hope you're doing well. As we are doing well. Are you doing well?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah?
These last 2 days, has our love not
Come
deepened?
On, I know. Actually, I don't know why. And I thought today I'd be super tired from we had a whole shoot yesterday. But I was just like, oh, wow, another day to spend with Lid.
Another day. Yeah. I've loved it. No, I feel so good.
Yeah.
We shot yesterday, as she said in the content, a content shoot.
Yeah.
And then now today, we're shooting this whatever. And I stayed at the Airbnb.
Yeah.
So it just felt like the shoot came to me.
Yeah.
The shoot came to me.
Maybe we need to be doing that more often, like a 2-day kind of thing.
Yes,
It's
and we make it an occasion.
It's like so lovely.
Yeah.
That's lovely, absolutely lovely.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming onto this episode yet again. When is this episode going to come out?
This is the 7th.
The 7th of August.
The 7th of August, yes. So by the time you're watching this, it is exactly 3.5 weeks to our live experience, which is happening on the 31st of August.
I think we had pre-shot more.
We hadn't. It's only next week's episode.
Bloody hell, girls.
That's why we are shooting next week.
Girls, yeah, girls. Okay.
I know, yeah, guys. So we are leaving the link down below. We are so excited for this live experience for many reasons. One, it's at an amazing location, Shamba Cafe, which is just going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Two, we just hope that it's going to be the biggest one yet. The reason we chose that location is because it can accommodate a lot more of you guys. So please feel free to come with your friends and your cousins and your brothers. I would love to see more in King between us. I would love, yeah.
Let's
the
have
last
two.
time we had, it was only one.
It was only one. But can we have two?
Yeah.
Can we have three? And do you know what? Anyway, I'll tell you about this because
Okay.
there's some people who I feel like men tend to do things when they see other men doing it. Just like kind of
Right.
women,
Yeah.
let's be honest. When you see more people, who are like you,
You're
so
like,
we gotta think about it.
We gotta
But
think
yeah.
about that.
And
guys.
what's the theme?
Yeah, the theme is denim and Ankara, which we addressed in today. You can see. We want to give you options so you can see. Our shirts are from African Inspired KE. We'll also leave a link down below to a few actually pages that we can get Ankara things and denim. You can do kimono and jeans. You can do a denim shirt and Ankara shorts. You can do like Ankara palazzos and a denim. There's just so many options.
So many options.
A jumpsuit
guys.
and a denim jacket.
Yeah.
That's
And
also
also
an option.
you just be like comfortable. You can be, if you want to dress it up, absolutely dress it up. But I feel like this theme like can go either way.
Either way. Exactly. You can do like sneakers, or you can do more like a sandals vibe, or you could do like heels. Tickets are only 2,500 bob. Guys, you know that you can spend that in one night at your buying shots for everyone, and you could have just bought a TMI live experience ticket. Like, that's all I'm saying is like, let's think about what our money can do for us, guys.
And it's an experience, It's an experience.
Thank you, guys.
Let's make memories. Make sure you're following us on our socials because we have so much content around the experience. Outfit inspos, all of those tags. Please make sure you're following us. TMI Podcast KE, Murugi Muni, Lydia KM. That's where all the tea is. That's where all the tea is. And as of this minute, I'm not around. Right this second, I'm in Greece right now.
Wow. So how is Greece so far?
Why?
Because you're there.
Oh, Greece is a dream.
Is it great?
It's spectacular.
Wow.
Yesterday was my sister's birthday. Happy 30th birthday to Aggie.
Oh, Aggie, we love
I
you
love you
so
much.
So
You're the
much,
best
sweetie.
thing ever. So yeah, we had a really good time.
Great.
We're
I loved
leaving-
your stories yesterday.
Thank you so
watching
much.
the birthday. And
We
it was
leave
so
Greece
good.
today.
All right.
Yeah,
And
tonight.
so she's just gonna be in Europe. So yeah, me as we're just here in Nairobi, just around Gong Road. But
This person who has been, we're not going into
Okay,
it.
so
She's been vaking. Like it's just, she just wakes up. Today she's gone.
But my vacays are like a hop, skip, and jump, like down the road.
Oh,
Yours
really?
are literally Greece.
But that's it. One. I go one a year,
No,
one big one. This one
unacceptable.
every 2 weeks. The sun. Some of us
Unacceptable.
haven't seen the sun since.
Yeah, by the way, you
Since
deserve
June.
it. I'm glad you're having fun.
Yeah, anyway,
They're
I'm
in
having a
Greece.
great time.
I love that for you. So today's episode, guys, as you can tell from the title, is a friendship-based one. And it's off of a video that we saw, or like a trend rather, that we saw on TikTok, where this guy was saying, what is one friendship lesson that you had to learn the hard way as an adult? Because there's obviously many friendship lessons you've learned like as you've grown up, but there are some which is just like, wow, I wish I had learned that easier. I wish I'd learned that earlier. But there are some which they slap you in the face at some point and you're like, wow, I have learned my lesson. Thank you. I have got it.
Yeah.
And there were so many reels that were, TikToks that were stitched to that one. People be going through a lot, man.
Yeah.
People be going through too much.
And we go through and we learn. Don't let the going through be wasted.
Right, for
just
nothing.
learn.
Yeah.
Just learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, may have a bunch that I've written
Yeah?
down. Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. Okay, one of the ones that instantly jumped to mind is that friendship breakups are worse than actual breakups. And I know that's something we probably talked about on the podcast, but allow me to re-emphasize.
Okay, baby.
There is nothing quite like a friendship breakup, especially if it's like a friendship that you've held for a really long time. And I feel like for this one, it's like, unless you have been in that situation, you don't know how bad that it's gonna feel. Do you know what I mean?
God,
And I
yeah.
feel like already breakups are just bad. Friendship breakups, I feel like it's almost like it's like a glitch in your mind of like you don't really know like how to really go through it. Especially like for me, the friendship breakup that I had to mourn for a long time, it was kind of like this person was a repository of so much context of your life. Like someone who has seen you through everything, who has been there, like seen so many different versions of you, who you can tell a story and not have to explain the back context. And when that is gone, it can kind of feel like it's like a part of you that has left.
Yeah.
And that can be really confusing.
Did you have a really hard time with that one? Like getting past it?
I feel like it wasn't hard, but it wasn't hard because like it was mostly not hard because I just didn't actually take the time to process it, is what it is. I feel like if I was in therapy at that time, I would have been crying 24/7. But because it was before TJ, before therapy Joe, it was more of like a ignore, okay, it ended, whatever.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And also it was kind of it was time to end. You know,
Yeah,
it wasn't like, oh my
exactly, yeah.
God, what happened? This, you know,
It
it was more
randomly
like
just
it was a time to.
Exactly.
I get that.
Yeah.
But funny enough, it's not one I relate to.
Oh, right. Because you've never had a big friendship breakup.
It's not that never had a big friendship breakup. My stuff is mostly in romantic relationship. Friendships.
Oh, right.
Friendship is my... It's not like it's trauma-free, God. Absolutely no. You take yourself everywhere you go. But it's just... There's something with friendship that's just... it's easier. Any friendship breakup that I've gone on has been more of like, I've come to the realization that this should have happened ages ago. More than it needs like the mourning and the stuff. Or maybe maybe you're right. I've never gone through a friendship breakup that felt like,
bad,
I'm being torn apart.
Yeah.
I remember there's a friend when I was like maybe like 18 or something like that. And I found out she was supposed to be my best friend. And I found out that she was really kind of bitching about me like crazy. In fact,
God.
she was using, like this friend said something about you, but it was her. It was her way of saying to me what she really
Secret
thought
hater.
of me. You know? And so I hated this girl for like a long time. And then
out.
she literally, when I was just like, let's just have a conversation. Just a random day I had the conversation with that girl. She's like, I don't even use that language. Who uses that language?
And you're like, oh, it's your friend.
And this other girl was way more likely to come to me and just tell me versus her who just wanted me to know these things, but she wanted to still keep me as her friend, you know? So I think that took ages. But again, who was going to therapy?
Right.
So I don't think I processed enough
That's the
and
thing.
whatever. And sometimes I think about how I dealt with all of that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you think back, I just like, well, how did I Like, did I even take time to think about it or like process it or whatever? But you know, you don't have the tools to deal with something, then you
survive.
you have to just survive, because now it's not like, oh, I can't now start at everyday processing because I don't have the tools to
you
deal with that.
don't.
You know what I always wonder about friends like that, like the secret hater friends, is like, what does it like, since you don't like me already, why do those people continue to be friends with people they don't like?
Just like how, why are you in a relationship with someone you don't really like? Because there's other things that you're getting from it that benefit you. It's this other one. And also a lot of the times I feel like when you're in a close dynamic with someone and you have your stuff, it's just your stuff that are mixing each other. And then if you don't have the tools to process, what am I projecting onto her? What is this? What is it? If you don't have those tools, what ends up happening is that you make it at that person's problem.
Right.
You see? So now it's like a her thing. Versus really, it's like if you process and you went into your stuff properly, you would see it's like, what is she telling you about you? What is she triggering? And by the way, friends are supposed to do that. Friends are supposed to trigger stuff that teach you to be a better person. More, not necessarily you making it about them. You know? So yeah, that's it. I think people just don't have the tools to navigate through close, intimate relationships, and then it ends up being like me against you, but it's not.
And especially when you're younger, I just feel like friendships, people don't put as much effort, like thought and like whatever in friendships as they do in romantic relationships. So it's like you grow up like learning about this is how to be a good girlfriend, or like when you see this in your man, that's a red flag or whatever. But not enough conversations happen about friendships because you just assume like, you just have a friend and they're just your friend or whatever. But you don't actually have that like is it like some kind of like wisdom or some knowledge to do with friendships, which is just like so assumed. And so when something happens, you're just like, well, that's strange, that's weird. And then you just imagine like, okay, are other people going through this as well, or am I the problem?
That's the thing. That's where we go most with friends.
Am I the issue?
Am I the issue?
Right.
Notes. That's a solid one. Have you been through a friendship breakup? What was it like? Do you feel like it's worse than romantic? But I mean, most people say that. I'm happy to believe it. I don't even have to have experienced a really bad one to know that. Most people say that.
It's tough, girl. It's tough.
Speaking of now, like, there's no like effort or whatever, something which I've had to learn the hard way is that as far as friendship is concerned, just because it's supposed to be easy doesn't mean it doesn't require effort. And have you seen those memes of like a lot of people say memes like that one friend who I don't speak to forever, but when we pick up it's fine. And then this trend about like, when I'm chilling with my friend who I need like low social battery, there is this push towards friendship that is supposed to be like this easy, it just happens, like no one's supposed to do anything. And to a certain extent it definitely is supposed to have ease. You are not the one I'm doing brick by brick work. You're not the person who we are
brick by brick. Not from like waking up and
However, effort is required. Effort. And how do we expect friendships to run without effort? That's so interesting to me. You don't want to go out with your friends. You don't want to make plans. When something happens with them, you don't want to be present for them. And they're supposed to understand when there's plans. Cancel. It doesn't matter. Break commitments. But you don't want it to happen. And what I thought, I feel like there are friendships I let go of because the person required effort. And because I had been conditioned to believing it's supposed to be an easy breezy cover girl, I thought that want for effort, consistency, just the basics was like a lot of work. So I've learned that no, it is supposed to be easy. There's things that you're just not supposed to force, but it's supposed to have effort.
Wow. Okay. I'm in between about that one.
I wonder why.
I was silent. Why. And I was like, okay, Lydia, talk to me direct. Why you look at the camera when really you want to look at me? Why you look at the camera? You want to look at me, don't you? So this is actually something I screenshotted this morning and I hadn't even realized that it's actually part of this episode. And it was on Lucia Musau's like a post, like a carousel she had put up, and one of them was talking about silent friendships. And it said no one talks about silent friendships where there's no posting, no pictures, no one knows how close you are, no pressure to speak daily, it's just understanding and pure love. And I related to that because I feel like I have a few friends who, because I'm such an out there person, the people who I post is when people will just assume like these are the people you're closest with, but there are people who are like I'm really close to who I don't post about or I don't speak about, but we are close. You know? And now when you say what you're saying, I feel like I agree with that. Where what I would say is that the concept of effort differs per friendship. So what I will say is, like, for example, with my mom friends, what I know takes effort for you, I know, like, even for you to meet up in an evening. So even if we do it once in the year, I know, like, that is the effort of effort. Do you know what I mean? And not even just for moms, even for people who, like, maybe I know this person struggles mentally. So I even know for you to have called me, it was like, that was effort. Whereas I feel like there are some like relationships which I know it's like, I need to message at least once a week to check on this person. I need to, and I feel like knowing that balance of, like, what effort, exactly, or what does the other person prioritize as effort, because there are some people who is just like, even if we've talked all day, if we haven't met up, where's the effort?
That's true.
You
It's
see,
good to know that. It's good to know which
one.
one.
One exactly, and which one to put where. And I feel like it's important where it's like, if you know that you're not able to match what someone considers effort, maybe that's just like it's a mismatched friendship, and it can't work, you know, kind of thing.
Speaking of, so one thing I've had to one thing I've had to mourn, and it's actually going to be one of my points, is that not even necessarily mourn. I think I've come to the understanding that you know, because we do so much together, I forget how many other things and how big the rest of your life outside of me can be. And sometimes I don't think I group you as my mom friend, and that was a mistake. And that was a mistake.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. I think that was a mistake, because I don't know, because I think it's not because obviously you are a mom, you're very present,
know, yeah.
but it's, I think, because you do other things so much within also my life and like the things that I do, the going out and whatever, I forget that.
Yeah.
So then now I understand that you're also a mom.
Of three.
Right? And the difference is like, I don't know, there's just like, even Brie, kind of sometimes I don't see it that way, because like we do so much together that I'm just like, you forget that there's this other big, really committing thing on the other side. So like the expectations sometimes are higher than normal, whereas now, no.
Yeah. Oh, no. Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And you see, the thing is that
understanding each other.
Thank you. And it's the fact that you are not a mom or not a mom yet is why it doesn't like automatically, you see, but because if you are a mom, then you, like, for example, when I meet with Tebby, a conversation about our children will happen in the first 1.5 minutes, because it's like, and I'll like, when she says about like, oh, going bedtime and what, I will already think of the effort that it takes to do bedtime and the effort that it took for you to go and take the kids to school in the morning or give them breakfast or whatever, like, because that's something that I go through daily. But because you don't, then it then automatically like occur to you, which, to be honest, I feel like there's a pureness in that, because then when I'm with you, I don't feel I don't feel like a mom me. In fact, I feel like I just more like a me.
That's what I feel
great.
Like. And also, for example, unless I watch your stories, you're right, because I'm not living the experience of waking up, taking the kids to school, all of that. It's like Joe woke up, she showered, and she came here. Right? Then you watch your stories and you're just like, oh my God, there was a PTA.
Yeah.
There was there was this, there was swimming, there was...
Yeah.
Then you get the vastness of what's going on the other side.
Right.
But a lot of the times, the way that we relate, that's not really a part.
I get
and so
that,
sometimes expectations can be mismatched from that perspective, because it's just like, Friday night. Yeah, she probably might cancel because her daughter got a cold or isn't feeling. There's like, now there's I've opened up my mind a bit more, but it's taken experience. It's taken okay, wow, I can see that's something that's still on her mind because it happened yesterday. You're not showing up here just thinking about yourself.
Exactly.
There's more to it. So that's smart.
Yeah. Do you think that's why there's always these conversations about like, oh, when someone got married, then they kind of like they are single friends, their friendships kind of fizzled out, or like a tendency towards like, when you're a mom, you have more mom friends, or when you're single, you should have more single friends, because it's like easier to match the levels of like expectations and effort and everything.
You know, we met each other in these stages, so it's like maybe we don't know what the transition would have been, but I can see how it would be hard. Like, you are the ones who were back in shorts talking, and now it's just like, especially the newborn stage. Especially the newborn stage, that is a transition that needs more grace. And it's not that there's a mourning that has to go. There's like something has changed, guys. That's not how it used to be. Me and you, not exactly, because it was never really like that.
In fact, I was pregnant when when we met. So
but I can see how it would be, number one, hard for the single mom, but not for the single mom, for the mom
friend,
who is like, they want their friend. They don't want you to now just like treat them like this is the mom and like that's it. You don't invite them anywhere. You don't like make efforts to bring them in.
Yeah.
But then on the other side of the single friend, it's just like nobody wants to be cancelled on every 2 minutes.
That's
Nobody
it.
wants
Yeah.
to feel like they're not exactly being prioritized as far as their effort, because you are not understanding each other's life experience in a true way. I can understand via knowledge, but until I'm a mom, it's like
Yeah.
then I will get what it takes on a day-to-day and all of that. So I can see how that's really, really difficult.
Exactly. And I'm even just now thinking of the complexity of these kinds of layers. Let's say we started off as single friends, we are doing shots in the club, we're going out, and then I get married, I get kids, and maybe that's like something that we used to talk about all the time, like, oh my god, imagine when we are married and we have kids. Now I'm married and I have kids,
Yeah.
and you are not married and you have kids.
Didn't that
And we said
happen?
that did indeed happen, and was really difficult in that friendship to navigate. And thinking back now, maybe like we both didn't have an understanding of how much that change in dynamic affected us, because for us it was like they're getting married and they're having kids, and then me becoming famous, which was now a whole other added layer, so it was just kind of like all these things. And maybe there was like we had a like naivety or like an ignorance towards it, because it's like we didn't want to ever recognize or acknowledge the differences of where we are in life now, because you don't want it to now become an awkward thing.
Yeah.
But what that led to is like there was a lot of like invalidating of things that I want to share or things that I want to talk about, because it's just like I know this is something that you want that you don't have right now. And I feel like if I was to turn back time now, or at least be friends with someone like that now, I would definitely encourage more conversations around like, do you feel, is there something you want to talk about, or like how are you feeling about this? Because I think at some point we completely stopped talking about marriage, completely stopped talking about like kids or whatever. Like I would even say anything and my kids started walking, fuck that. No, let's talk about something else. Yeah.
But yeah, you didn't know how to.
Exactly. And then also now you as the friend who has those things, you don't want it to be like I'm rubbing it in your face that I have these things and like I'm having these milestones and you aren't. You see? Yeah.
That's tough. And I think it's like how you say about marriage, like you have to grow together.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I think it was Jules. I think it's the It's Related podcast where they were talking about how are friendships affected when like money changes.
Right.
And for example, if you start off at the right time, if you find your friend like they've always been there, then that's whatever. But as you grow, it's like this person has become like maybe super affluent or whatever, and that's not the case. And how does that go? And like, access to things. So it's like, okay, let's go on a holiday, but like the holiday I want to go, the holiday I'm able to go to, that's not the one,
Then I'm like, oh, let me just pay for it.
Yeah.
But am I going to pay for all of the holidays?
Yeah, you can't.
Oh.
By the way, on that note, what I personally feel is that I feel like I am willing to compromise to a certain degree on the quality of like the holiday that I'm going to, as long as it's not like obviously terrible, to accommodate like more of my friends. Because for me, the experiencing it with my friend is a priority. Then I can go on holiday, I can do other vacations anywhere else, but this one that we're doing in a group, I'm happy to like, okay, where is everyone standing and what's everyone's affordability, and see what all of us can afford and what the middle ground is. I'm
Me
happy.
too.
I'm
Me
willing
too.
to compromise.
Because
for
I could
sure.
always go with also my fellow rich friend
And
to
just
another
we
whatever.
go to the big one or
to
whatever.
Dubai,
I'm
yeah.
willing to compromise.
Me too. Because sometimes actually, most times when it's with like a group of people who is just like
It's you guys.
it's
I want to
this
go with you.
dynamic.
It's
Exactly.
that I want to go.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
you're so right. But I would really wonder about now that dynamic of like maybe we're at the same place and then now you get into like complete financial ruin and what my role as a friend would be in that
Yeah,
kind
not
of
like for a minute. That's what Jules said. Not a little. Like this is the season. You
and
want to take
the
care of me?
reality take care of you,
Baby.
am I your mom,
Baby.
girl,
Baby.
Aye.
Baby.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll send you lunch once in a while for sure.
Oh my God. Financial ruin, like no food. Wow.
I know that's crazy.
That's
but the reality
a
is
lot.
that this is something that everyone will learn, whether the hard way, the easy way, or whatever. But things change in life. Because life is long. Like imagine between now and 10 years from now, how different your life could be and how different my life could be.
Imagine
so
the
much
last
could have
10
happened.
years. That's crazy. From 23 to now.
I didn't have Zach, my kids.
I didn't live here. This isn't where I live.
I had a better hairline. I mean, so much. Yeah, so think in 10 years, like so
what
much
could
could have
change?
happened. And I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe the role of a friend is constantly checking in to just be like, now this version of you, or like as we are growing, are we still fitting together? Am I still able to add value in your life? Are you still able to add value in my life?
Yeah.
And then being able to assess at any given point in time, is this where we part ways?
Let me tell you something. At TikTok, that's kind of about like the different seasons. So somebody had posted a video about how like your friend, you're having a baby shower, but your friend who has been struggling with infertility for ages is feeling like that's too triggering to come. And then the video was, you know, that song that's going around, you know, we don't hate you, love. Something like, we don't hate you, love. You're the best thing we've lost, or something like that. Basically saying we are not mad. Yeah, we are not mad at you. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm not mad. Like, I get it. I'm just sad that you can't come, but I understand. And then somebody else had responded to that saying, I couldn't imagine not being able to share the joy of my people in my life like that. Go.
It's my turn.
It's your turn.
You've tagged me in.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say it depends whose feelings are stronger or more intense at that time. So the joy, how excited am I about having this baby versus how much are you struggling with the fact that you are infertile and will never have a baby? If for me,
How do you
literally,
even quantify
this
that?
is, I feel like it's quantifiable. If literally you see, there's people who it's like, you're like, for example, you're single and you're in your waiting period or whatever, but it's like, it's something like you're not sadly single, you're happily single. Like, it's just like, oh, I'm single. Oh, you would love to be in a relationship and to get married, but like now you're not sad, you're just here. You see, versus now saying, oh, you can't come to my wedding because you're single. That's different. You see, it's just kind of like how, yeah. And then because if you're the kind of person who's like, you're infertile, but it's like there are people who have made peace with it. So maybe if you are the kind who has made, I feel like it's one of those things of it's like, yeah. Because even me as a friend, would I be like, no, it doesn't matter how sad you're feeling, you have to come to my
That's the
baby shower.
thing.
Why would I do that?
That's the thing.
No.
I lean towards more. Joy is wonderful and everyone wants to share it.
Yeah.
But pain
Yeah.
is like, it lives in you. It like, you know?
Yeah.
So I would be on the side of the understanding if somebody was like, especially somebody who I know, honestly,
Yeah.
they would do anything.
And
for
you know
me.
it's not personal, exactly.
You know?
You just know it's,
yeah, I don't think I would blame them. It's not obviously anyone's ideal to not share that moment with someone they really care about. But
Yeah.
you're right. I wouldn't be like, I don't care what the fuck you're feeling.
Right.
You better be here.
Bring
Start.
your infertile
3
ass.
John. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no.
Yeah, I know. It's yeah, actually no. And then also there's a difference. You see, sometimes I feel like as a society we have really we have overexerted how important certain things are. A baby shower versus you being there for me and my child throughout her life and my life. You see, you may not come for my the baby shower, but when at birth in the hospital you're with me, at someone's birthday you came, you know, you showed up, you sent diapers or whatever. There are other ways you can show up for me that don't involve you putting yourself in a place of feeling like hurt and pain.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's tricky, guys. When you see friendships like my show now, who has friendships from like Kitambo,
That's the thing, yeah.
just respect it because it's not easy.
And life is long. Okay, you didn't come for this one Saturday baby shower, but you know, there's other opportunities to show up for people.
That's a really good way of saying it.
Exactly, yeah. But things change and things will change in your friendship. Things won't remain the same, exact same forever.
Yeah.
That's
What
just
was
factual.
that? Was that your point?
Yeah.
Or mine?
Mine.
Oh, okay. All right. Another one for me, and I think this is a conversation nobody's trying to have, is friends can also be abusive. Let me tell you, the second a man even does this, that's manipulation. Or this perceive, even like if I feel abused, whether I've been abused or not.
Yeah.
Narcissist, manipulative, gaslighter, abusive, da. But your friend has been consistently body shaming you. Your friend is overtly nasty to you. She manipulates you. She gaslights your experience. But we won't call it abuse. Because
boundaries 24/7.
And even that, because we don't want to make those hard decisions in friendships.
Or have
We don't.
those difficult
We
conversations.
don't want to do it. And for me, I didn't realize that there was a friend who was manipulating me and gaslighting me and all of this BS until I left a man who was doing the same thing. And then I was like,
Oh, wait. Yeah.
this has been happening. But you know, when you're getting on all fronts, it just looks like life. That's
You
just,
know?
it's it's just an average Friday.
Yeah.
But when you have the courage to see it in someone else in a different dynamic, and you're just like, they're like, oh wait, that's what
Yeah.
you've been doing, and you don't realize it. And we are not willing to have that conversation, baby. But it's time that we do.
Yeah.
If men can be abusive, why can't it be in friendships? It can.
But why does it feel like it's so much harder to like identify in friendships? Is it
Yeah.
because like there's, I don't know. I just feel like it's so much harder to like pinpoint, because like for years being in an abusive friendship, I feel like there are times where it's like we'd hang out and it's like I'm having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't I? Kind of thing. It's like I'm having fun, but once it's over, you just like this, like you can't say. You see, and it's the fact that now you can't really put a thing and be like, you said this mean thing, and that's why. Because a lot of time, like I feel like in romantic relationships, it's like we had a fight. He slapped me, so that's something I can be like, you slapped me. Or you called me a bitch kind of thing. But in like friendships, it's just sort of like, it's more of like just this nagging feeling of like when the hangout is over, I'm relieved and kind of just feel like,
I feel like we prioritize community severely as women. Me being one.
oh my God, girl.
Community is my lifeline. I need it. It's my lifeline. And because of that, you're never looking for it. And the cognitive dissonance of the truth of what you want and what you believe versus what you're seeing, that takes years to get out of. That happens in romantic relationships as well. But those ones, we are conditioned to be looking for those.
Yeah.
We're conditioned to be seeing men as the anti. Like, you're as he walks in a room, you're scanning him.
You're already like, liar.
But women, not like that.
It's
so it could go on and on and on and on forever. And also, friendships are harder to let go of. So it's just like, what's a little gaslight?
A little.
What's a little
In
manipulation?
fact, when you think of like just the inconvenience of ending a friendship you've had for a long time, and it's like maybe this friendship group, you're like, now how will it work really if you're not friends with this one person, and
Friendship
it's just
groups are, oof.
oh girl, it's kind of inconveniencing. Actually, this whole concept of like prioritizing community is such a deep thing for me. Even me, I'm just like, I can see how it would be easy for a family member to manipulate me, because I love my family so much, like
Same.
literally. So I'm like, I would not be looking. In fact, I would be like, I'm seeing the red flag, and I'm like, ooh.
I don't know what that is.
Exactly. I don't know who
is.
that. I don't know that one, and I can see how that would really lead to.
It's like what's it? I think I've shared this before. The way my therapist said that even in romantic relationship, there's like the value. You have a value system, and sometimes two values are against each other, and you choose the one that's most important. So sometimes it looks like, wait, this person did this, but no, they are giving me, and there's a bigger value that's being pinned against this one. So sometimes that's what happens.
Yeah.
It's just harder. It's just harder, and you don't want to believe it. I think that's it.
Actually,
I
you
don't want to believe
yeah.
a friend would do that.
Yeah.
And because I don't want to, I'm working to not.
Yeah, and we're willing to excuse so much.
Yeah.
We are really willing to excuse so much.
What would it take for our friendship to break up? Imagine. How many years of gaslighting would it take?
And me, I'd just be like,
No.
yeah, no, she didn't mean it. Lydia is like that. Lydia, sometimes she's like that.
Sometimes she steals.
Yeah. But she just
She just took. So what's 5,000 from my purse?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she needed it.
And I didn't even need my wedding rings, you guys. Like, I didn't need them. She like,
Just
yeah,
let it go.
It's fine. Let it go,
Let
guys.
it go.
Why are you guys making a big deal?
Guys.
So the question is, how do you prevent finding yourself in that kind of situation? Because you see, and one of my points was like, sometimes you're too close to the issue and it's been going on for too long that it's too normalized in your mind that you actually don't recognize that it's happening. How do you prevent that? Is it like by being around other people? Is it by having regular check-ins? Is it by like going to therapy and discussing things which happened, which you're just like, is this normal, or is this like like, how do you prevent finding yourself in that kind of situation?
I would definitely say therapy.
All right.
Therapy for me has helped me see where my stuff ends and my friends shit begin, so that I can know when I'm tabling it, this is my stuff. So this is what I'm projecting, this is what I'm putting on you, this is whatever, and then this is what it is. But and I guess the more you know yourself and the more you know your friend, then you find a balance, because sometimes it's just like the things is just like it comes and that wasn't right. Those ones are easy to deal with. But then the other bloodline is like, you've got to go into your stuff, because as I said, I feel like a lot of my friends challenge my shit. For example, I've said how Sharon K is so vulnerable. I think I'm vulnerable, but every time I'm around her, I'm just like,
Wow.
what a fucking
You're really
liar
open.
you are.
You're really
You
sharing.
know, it's like and that challenges. So now if I'm just
I'm
like,
not
oh
vulnerable.
wow, like
I'm
you know,
not
I
so
think she's too
vulnerable.
much. You see, but now you can see, am I able to be vulnerable enough? Like, how is she challenging this out of me? So if you understand it that way, it's not like whatever your friends are doing, you gotta see what are they stirring in you, and that can be something that helps kind of rise out like some stuff in you, maybe help you to be better, or maybe as you're saying, you realize that there's just this is not going to work, and it just ends there.
Me, I'm not super vulnerable. Like
You're
Sharon K.
pretty open. You're very vulnerable. There's something. Have you ever heard Sharon?
No, not really.
Oh my God,
We're
yeah.
not as close as the two of
Right,
you are,
okay,
so I
fine.
guess with you,
There's
she
just
really opens
there's
up.
something else. There's just something else, and it's just like I
Wow.
don't know if it's her energy, but she just tables everything in like a different way. It's
in like a take me as I am. This is how I truly feel kind of way.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
You don't feel like sometimes that it's just like it's hard to do that.
Yeah. Because sometimes you want to share, but like share in a way which also then paint you as like really a really bad, stupid person. It's like, yeah, of course I wasn't like, yeah. But you've shared, but it's like shared, but like just with a glaze of, you know, I'm not stupid.
Nail on
Yeah.
the head.
I know. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Sharon doesn't have that.
God.
Yeah. She
Oh,
doesn't have that.
Sharon.
She
Teach us your
doesn't
ways.
have that.
Jeez.
It is plain, simple. Take it if you
Just
want.
there it
That's your
is.
problem. Yeah. And it takes a lot of courage. And she's taught me a lot about that. I'm
I
trying a
love
lot,
that.
you know.
I love that.
Yeah.
I like what you said about like knowing your shit or like knowing yourself, because I feel like that's like the key to unlocking life. I
Yeah.
think as an adult, knowing your stuff is going to get you to leave toxic relationships, leave toxic friendships, or even know like the kind of situation, because you know yourself. You're just like, when you feel something, you trust enough to be like, no, something is not right, and you
Yeah.
trust that feeling. You don't like automatically be like, no, maybe I'm just reading
Yeah.
too much into it. Or like for me, usually when I see a toxic situation or something happens that I don't feel right about, my problem is that I need it to happen 5 times for me to truly believe that that's
I'm
what
not
has
even gonna-
actually, yeah.
I know.
You know,
I
yeah.
know.
It's just like the first time it could be like, that could be a mistake. You have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Second time it's like, you know, it's just like maybe
bad
the
mood.
other one, yeah, that's the thing. The third time, you know, we are going through a lot. The country, you can see the economic times, and
Yeah.
Ruto has made
Maybe
everyone
that's,
mad.
yeah.
And then now by the 4th time, it's just kind of like, I think I need to start thinking about having a conversation with this person. By the 5th time now, it's like, okay, now we can talk about this.
Yeah, you guys remember when we first started TMI of the whole 8 kids thing? I had said that like 10
A
episodes.
million, exactly.
10
You see?
episodes
Yeah.
before, but I get that. It's like you want to tread carefully. You also want to give your friends grace. Like I'm big on that as well. It's like I'm not trying to see you through the lenses of trying to pick you apart and to see you as as like a bad person, you know. So it's like it takes time. But I think as we grow, what I'm learning to trust. Actually, speaking of, there was an episode. What episode was that now? Like a couple of episodes back, where you lot were cooking me in the YouTube comments.
Wait. It was
148. Life did not end.
Life did not end
When.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I thought was like a really good episode. And
Yeah.
actually, when the Wednesday it came out, I was just being tagged on all these like funny little bits. I was like, oh, this
just like,
episode, it's banging. Ha!
Until our socials group is like,
Woo!
guys, just to let you know, the comments
are
in the
where?
video.
Which is like, what?
What?
Only to go and see, and it is like Lydia. First of all, I think the top one was like, Lydia, let Mudrugi talk.
Speak. Lydia, everyone else's opinion is also valid.
Guys, first of all, I was shocked.
Yeah.
You know, there's like maybe something you're just like, okay, this could come up. Like, or we talk about something controversial here. Sometimes it's like,
Somebody's going to mention
someone
something,
might.
yeah.
But this one literally took me completely back. It was that I don't respect other people's opinion. I don't give room for other people's opinions. And of course, they were like the nasty ones. There's a comment like this that got that those ones, at least some of you guys, most of you defended me.
Yeah.
That I think I'm better than you. Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. Have you checked recently?
I haven't.
So
After
yesterday,
that day, I was just like, okay.
yeah, that day I
Yeah,
checked. But then now I went on to, I had therapy, and I was telling my therapist about how I've grown because I don't give a shit. So I was now telling her, like, I was giving her the context of like the comments and what they were like. So I saw there's some of them, we should go and see them. So that's one of them that was there. So first of all,
Did she say it in a nice way?
No.
Oh.
it was, I think, I don't know exactly what it was like, but it was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, that basically I think that I'm better than Murugi.
Mm.
That, first of all, when you say this person thinks that, you're projecting, because
how
you
do
don't
you
know.
know
You have
anything about
no
what she
idea
thinks?
what it is that what it is that I think.
Mm.
So now, after that day, after the Thursday when socials told us, I had gone to the Heart Summit, right, to speak,
remember, yeah.
right? And then actually we had this conversation, and Joe said, well, first of all, Zach said that he sees how we have this dynamic where it's just like, one, I invalidate your
No,
feelings.
actually, what he said is, because now I showed him and I was like, babe, look, people are saying that. Then he's like, oh, I can see how that could be something. Then I'm
Yeah.
like, why? He's like, there's a way, whenever like we are talking about things between me and him, I'm always like, oh, you know, Lydia said this, you know, Lydia thinks this, Lydia, whatever. Because I do think she's super wise, and the things she says make sense. You know,
Yeah.
they sound like they come from somewhere. So he was like, he feels like there's a way in which I really like elevate your opinion.
Yeah.
And like it's like everything you say is like God's honest truth.
Yeah.
And cannot be wrong. So that's what he said.
So when you said that, I was like, if the dynamic is you elevate my opinion like that, then there might be something that's happening on my end that is like, I also believe that. So that's what I thought, because a relationship dynamic is die. For example, if you say you're a chronic people pleaser in your relationship, I can imagine what your husband does. So it's like, when you see one side of a dynamic, then you could see how the other side could be true too, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think this to be true, like this is actually how we are, but maybe there's something there that we should be more observant about.
Because probably it's not like a conscious thing of just like, no, Joanne, your opinion is stupid.
And I
like,
don't think that.
Exactly.
I don't.
And I definitely, like now when we're just interacting, I don't automatically feel like, oh, if Lydia says something that's against mine is dumb.
You're
I need to
always
shut up.
arguing
You're
back,
just-
actually.
Exactly.
She's always fighting back.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And I think maybe there's like an element of just like, because I really respect your wellness voice, and like I've seen the work that you've done behind the scenes. Usually when you say something, I'm just like, it makes me at least query in my mind, where have I gotten this particular opinion? Why do I believe this way? If Lydia feels this other way, could there be some truth or some value in that? And then now actually thinking about that. But now the more people mentioned it in that particular episode, I was just like, why in this episode?
Why
in that episode?
Yeah.
And so now even I've been telling her, maybe I was low energy that day, because I remember being low energy. And there's some episodes where one person is carrying us on their back, okay? And another time it's the other person. And maybe it's just that I was low energy. But the more I actually went back and watched that episode, and I was like, haha, we are so funny, first of all. And then secondly, I was just like, I don't know, but I definitely also told myself, it's just like, that could be something that we are more conscious about.
Something
exactly.
to note. And here's the thing, sometimes when we get feedback, is like, I don't know if this is how you guys deal with your friends, but is it that when somebody acts a certain way, they're maliciously doing that? Like there must be ill intent. There must be, this is like really the true, there's never a like, maybe you want to observe that there's no wiggle room or grace or like, hey, but there was one person, actually the way they worded it was like,
that's what I was going
Lydia,
to say.
like I don't know if Lydia is aware, but you know, it's like that person is trying to let me know that there might be a blind spot that I have, which is really how human beings are like. And also another thing I realized is that it's, for example, actually our dynamic when we first started content, Joe's opinion was what it was, because I found her in an expert position in something that I wanted to do. And maybe it's because they don't maybe see the BTS of like the content, but there's areas where Joe's voice is our voice.
Yeah. It's like, I've spoken for TMI.
Period.
Okay,
because
thank you.
Because she has an expertise in this kind of area where I trust your judgment so much. So it's like these areas that could be that way. The hate was unnecessary. The OTT-ness was definitely unnecessary. But that's something which I said to myself, I need to note. And not just in your dynamic, anywhere else. Because also I've been kind of praised about my mind forever. Like the way I think since I was a child. And just like how if a girl is told, you're so beautiful. Oh my,
You're the most beautiful in all rooms that you walk into.
So is the ego element, the human element, that ugly part that we all have could be manifesting in walking in thinking that you are, whether you want to or not. You know, whether you want to or not. So it's like, it's something which I took to note and to be like more observant. Because when a lot of people say so many things, when it might be a hate fest, it's like, let's take this and see how we can be
exactly
more observant of it.
if enough people have actually said it. But now this is a case study, because after our socials lady shared it, we were like, okay, Lyd was like, oh, Joe, do you feel that way?
I did message you.
Yeah,
did you see my message?
Did you?
On Instagram.
On Instagram, yes, exactly. And then you were like, then we should have like a call or something. What did you say?
On Instagram, you definitely don't remember.
I saw it, I swear.
Which
And it was
one?
like
What
a
did I
this
say?
much paragraph.
And
Yeah.
what did I say? And what did you say back?
I said something back.
You
I
said-
love-hearted it, actually. Did I not?
Go to your Instagram. So what I basically said to you, Joe, is that like I'm not actually concerned whether or not this is true or not.
Yeah.
I'm concerned that if there's a possibility that I'm invalidating you and I'm not giving you space to talk, and I'm sorry. Period. Because I never want to do that with Joe. And my pushback is not because I think anyone's opinion is my opinion is better. It's like we're in a podcast.
Oh, right, yeah.
I just want to push back on my opinion. But to be honest, what we can do is like, we don't always have to come to common ground. We can just be like, I've said, you said. But what we do is like, we
No, but
nail it.
most times I feel like there's usually sometimes you've said and I've said, and that's the way that it is.
I feel like that's more sometimes. But
Really?
I also feel like there's a feeling that we want to engage each other in our way of seeing. Yeah. But anyway, we're taking it on to see if there's maybe something.
Yeah. Also, I feel like this space is really special to me for one of the main reasons why it's so special to me is that the audience, you guys get a front row seat to what our friendship looks like. But like it's like a snapshot of what the friendship looks like. And I'm trying to think, where else do you see that? Like in Kenya, what other friendship do we have a front row seat to? Like these are the conversations that you guys have. These are your views. These are your views. This is how your life is. This is how Murugi's life is, or whatever. I feel like because of that, it's really easy from like where you guys sit to be able to like judge and be like, no, I can see how, because Murugi is like this and she has this and this and Lydia is here. No, actually this one is not, like something is just not working right or something like that. But I would love to remind our audience that also what you see here is literally 1% of what our friendship actually is. Like it's literally a very, very tiny percentage. So even though the views we express obviously are our real opinions and whatnot, there are also other conversations that we have outside after the episode. Sometimes when we discuss something which is like fire, the after podcast, that's the real podcast.
That's the real argument. That's the real hold me back.
That's the real
hold me back.
When we are literally in the bed in underwear, that's the one who's just like, and so so keep that in mind, guys. But thank you for raising it. Thank you especially to the people who raised it respectfully. Yeah, because I could really see the difference. The ones for just like, Lydia, let people speak, and then the one who's just like, oh yeah, I don't know if you've noticed this, but like whatever. There's always a good way to bring things up, guys. Yeah.
But anyway, I thank God it happened because I had something to take to my therapist and tell her, all the money I've been paying you, it's
yeah,
working.
it is now.
Because 2 years ago, that would have rocked me. Whereas now, it's just like, people are allowed to have feedback about me.
I know.
Imagine that.
And me, by the way, guys, I really don't like watching episodes back. Like for me, once I've already talked here, I don't want to go back and up because now I'm like, I'll want
sometimes
like,
really
should I have
some slay.
Some are so funny, exactly. But like sometimes just like, oh, who is that talking? Wow, Murugi, that's amazing.
And sometimes perceiving yourself is not always like the experience that it is. I want to hear other people do this. I want to see other people do this and make me laugh this way. Yeah. So sometimes perceiving yourself isn't like exactly the funnest experience, to be honest. But yeah, every so often is one I would just watch and I was just like, genius.
Like, love you girls.
Look at us. That was a really good episode.
It was a really nice episode.
Yeah.
Here's another thing I think I was going to mention about like when someone does something to hurt me or like wrong me in a friendship, and tell me if this is a good strategy. Because I don't automatically like jumping to like have the difficult conversation with this person. Sometimes I'll want to do things that give this person a clue that it's hurting me, or like I would prefer it if they didn't do it. So like, for example, let's say, you see like now, for example, like the one which you used to say about 8 kids. Like now, if I've noticed you said it many times and it's affecting me, instead of now coming just tell you, I really don't like it when you, maybe having a certain reaction when you say it so that you can pick up on the fact that I don't like it so that you can stop doing it.
Like,
isn't that good? Like now, maybe you say something and I'm just like,
yeah, but you know me, I'll probably be like, oh,
that's the problem with you. That's your issue. You want to know.
Why.
You can't just like deduce, oh, clearly she doesn't like it. Let me just not
but then
do
maybe
it.
I wanna be clear, and also I wanna be sorry that I've been saying and you don't like it.
Sometimes people just don't want to have difficult conversations,
Really?
Yeah.
Even you.
Yeah. And sometimes, by the way, sometimes I feel like I don't like to put people in a position where they have to say sorry to me. Have you ever?
Why?
I don't know. It's like I don't want you to feel like sorry. Just stop doing it. That's it.
Because you don't want to now feel empathy for me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I feel bad.
And I don't want to feel bad that I've made you feel bad. You see what I mean? It's just like,
Joe, TJ.
I know. And yet all of this is so much simpler if you just open your fucking mouth and just be like, oh, I don't really feel that nice when you do X and Y and Z. Could you not do it.
Are you getting better at this?
I haven't had much opportunity to practice, but
yeah?
and I don't want. Oh my god! You know, whenever you put things out in the universe, suddenly the universe is like, "Let me send you practicals.
I get.
Let me send you practicals."
When all that shit happened on YouTube, I was like, I feel like this was my practical to see how I'm handling things. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you need checkpoints to show you your growth.
Yeah.
And it's rarely a breezy, nice, sunny day. It's usually
right.
that thing. It's usually something that happens. You're just like, oh, this is how far I've come.
Exactly. Actually, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the fight I told you about with Zach, not fight, but disagreement. And Lydia was like, I'm surprised you didn't pick up your children and leave in the middle of the night to start a new life in Lebanon. And I'm like, wow, yeah, I really
And
have
guess
grown.
what? Once you know you're grown, you kind of act more like that
Exactly.
grown version of you because you have evidence.
And you now trust yourself. It's just like, I know whatever situation comes, I am capable and I'm able to handle it.
Sure. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you guys for giving us
I think that was my point.
practicals, was it?
Mhm.
Okay, here's one of mine. A friendship lesson I've learned. I wouldn't say it's the hard way. Maybe it's the hard way, but when I was like in my 20s, late teens, I used to look at people who have like a million friends and really, really envy that and really, really envy them. And I think at some point I internalized somehow that someone not having many friends must mean that they're unlikable or unlovable or just like they are not someone who people want to be friends with. As I've grown older, obviously that has changed. I've now seen that. I don't know if I would say I agree with, there's the phrase which says a friend to all is a friend to none. I do think there's people who have capacity to be friends to many people and be good friends to many people. But I feel like as I've grown now, I've learned that quality over quantity when it comes to friendships. I'd rather have
100%.
a smaller circle and be like, I'm able to show up with that effort that we're referring to and be able to like really be there for them than have like a million friends. But am I able to actually be the kind of friend that I would want to be to them?
Yeah.
You know?
When I was younger, I never had a lot of friends. Literally until I think 2-3 years ago, I've always had a circle of like 5, 3, 4. Aggie has always had so many friends. Like Aggie was that friend who like that girl who just she was like that. She's always been that way. So for me, it was like I am even surprised that I got this many friends. And I guess because of like relocating and changing everything, it's like now I have friends in 2 lifetimes, kind of. It's like I have the friends from like back home, and then I have friends here who is like my new home, where is like my new life. So I guess maybe that's why I'm able to have more. Because if I didn't relocate, I think I would still be friends with those friends that I had. Yeah, but quality always over quantity. And I think the more friends you have, I guess sometimes the more that you see like they seasons because as I get more,
that's
some
another hard lesson, girl.
Drop.
Yeah.
There's some who like, okay, this season doesn't make any sense for us anymore. What we were aligning on, like then now doesn't make any sense. It's not every friend who's gonna grow with you, you know? So yeah, quality for sure.
Definitely
Yeah,
quality.
I definitely internalized a lot of that when I was younger, seeing Aggie with like, how do you have like 162 friends? Like, you know? Yeah.
And starting to be like, yeah, maybe just some people are just like more likely to be friends. Another thing that I've learned in adulthood is like, for you to have good friends, you need to also be a good friend. Like, you need to be a good friend for you to have good friends. You can't expect people to also show up for you and you're the one who's never showing up for anyone else. Yeah, not a hard way lesson, but definitely a lesson.
And with that, good is more referring to authenticity than niceness, than appeasing. Because I think we confuse that. But I'm such a nice friend. But are you people pleasing your way through this entire relationship? Because that is inauthentic, which is going to be met by a different version of inauthenticity, which you consider bad friendship. But either way, it's inauthentic. So it's in the authenticity is really what you're trying to focus on as a friend. Because otherwise, if you get that wrong,
done. Thank you.
Yeah. Something which I've learned the hard way, which is something I guess I came to accept, and I think this might even be why I'm able to have more friends, is that not every friend is your everything friend.
That was one of my points too.
Yeah, you're gonna have that friend who you can twerk. Then you, I don't know, go to the library. Then you talk about therapy. Then it's an all-rounder. You know what I mean? A juicy all-rounder. But I think 99% of friends are not gonna be that. And what you end up doing is that if you find a friend who speaks so loudly to like this one side of you, you don't appreciate that for what it is because you're so busy trying to make them be others. Whereas now that's not it.
Yeah.
I know the friend I'm going to call when it's time to go out. I know the friend who maybe I'm going to call when things are difficult. I know the friend who I'm going to call who's going to just like tell me, get off your fucking ass and work. I wonder who that is. I have
She's not in the room with us.
I have friends for each, and many are in more than one area. Like me and Joe, we are work, we go out, we are whatever.
Fitness sometimes.
We do more things. Even now, therapy, wellness, we're kind of, some friends are going to have more than one.
Yeah.
But forcing those issues, I know so many friends who I felt like they were falling short.
Right.
But they weren't falling short. They were just speaking clearly to the part that resonates most. And then that's it. And if you have a lot of friends, let each do that and be done.
And
it's like how we
that's
do with
fine.
romantic partners sometimes. You need to be everything.
Oh, yeah. And it's just like, no, people just can't be everything.
Yeah.
And then you end up, now when you have the friend who is just like fitness, now you're going out, you want them to come, but then they don't want to come because they just don't want to be that person. And that's okay. And now I feel like as you get older, let's say you have these friends which are club friends and you have now fitness friends or whatever. If you now decide, for example, you've quit alcohol and now it's going to be like, I mean, if your friends were the short friends, the reality is that friendship is kind of gonna, like, it could either morph, because some friendships, by the way, can morph. It can be like, we used to do this together, but now that I'm not going out, do you wanna, do something else? And sometimes it's able to move from this phase to this other phase. Other times it's just not. And I feel like those ones just die a natural death.
They do. And I think it's okay. And I don't think necessarily it means that, let's say a friend of mine, I don't know, becomes born again.
Yeah.
And now that's something which is like, being around certain environments, it doesn't make sense to them, and they want to be around people who are like them. I don't think that's a judginess necessary to you. It's like, it's okay for people to want to find more likeness in their life experience.
I also, though, feel like as a friend who changes, like your life circumstance changes, like for example, let's say we are the going out friends and then you've stopped going out, I feel like, do you owe it to me to allow me to become a different kind of friend to you, even though our friendship was based 100% on this one? Because I feel like sometimes what happens is, like, let's say you stop going out, then now you just, like, it's like you've cut me off. So you're never reaching out to me because you're like, okay, now that part of my life, I'm not going out anymore, so why am I like hang out with this person, kind of thing. I feel like if someone's life changes and you now don't see how this friend could fit into it, is it worth having a conversation and just being like, I know a lot of like our connection was based off of like going to this club and whatever, but I'm not into that anymore. Do you think we can explore other things or whatever?
My approach would definitely be always to try and bring all my friends along with my journey, but then not force it. Like if we go now, we sit down and it's like, ooh, there is nothing to talk about without tequila. It's clear where this was about.
Yeah.
If you make a few attempts to kind of be in different environments and engage in different things and it's not working, then it's okay. You can let it
fine.
go. Yeah. And maybe I'm boring to you. So why am I pretending that it's me who's the one letting you go? Maybe
But
you're
really,
letting me go.
because maybe you're just boring.
Maybe I'm boring as hell now without tequila.
Oh my God. Okay, that was going to be my next point of it's okay to have friends for different things. You don't have to be all things to someone.
Yeah.
I feel like I have most of my friends, most of my enemies have I've said. One last one I would say that I learned I don't know if it's the hard way, maybe it's the hard way actually, is that sometimes friendships are not about you at all. Sometimes, depending on like seasons, there are seasons where nothing about the friendship will be about you when like a friend requires support. For me, the most I'm willing to give is probably like a 6 months to 1 year when someone is going through a really difficult time.
That's a lot of grace.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm willing to give that.
Yeah, for sure.
In adulting, I feel like I'm willing to give that. And I feel like recognizing that, of course, it's like we want to both be there for each other. But like where someone is like going through a really difficult situation, sometimes it's not at all about you. Sometimes friendship is about just being there for someone else and not that person being there for you.
Yeah.
It's just you being there for someone else, like CSR or like charity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's just about them. I get that. Yeah. I definitely get that. I think, first of all, I 100% agree, but I also know it can be hard.
It can, yeah.
It can be hard because maybe I'm going through something that is not level 1 like you, but it's something that's just like, oh my God, it would be really good to get an ear. But that's not what it's about. So you've got to give yourself grace when it does feel difficult, when it is like, I really would love her to be on this with me, but she absolutely cannot. So honor those human emotions. But yes, the person with the hottest fire wins.
At least, yeah. But the best friendships are like where you can bring your fire, which is like damn, and me my fire, which is enormous, and at least the fires are burning together in like
But
solidarity
it
of like
depends on the
supporting each
level.
other.
It depends on the level of fire.
Oh,
I don't think we've ever gone through level 1 fire at all.
we've never gone through level 1. We've never gone through level 1.
I don't think so.
There's a time literally my marriage was in the pits of hell. What do you mean? That was not level 1.
We haven't seen enough life to know level 1. I
But
feel
then we don't know.
I
Maybe
think
at the
it's
end
level
is when
2.
we'll.
I think it's like level 2-ish and stuff like that. It was on the brink, but it's never been like,
Oh, like
I don't
death.
ever really
okay.
believe that it's over.
Okay, right. Yeah. Okay, fine.
Exactly. You know?
Maybe
It's
that's
like
the
we've gone
worst it
through
gets.
deaths,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and that was really difficult. But there's another level to that. You know what I mean? So there's some things like, someone's lost a child. There's nothing here about you for the next 4 years. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm talking about,
it's true.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
So
that's.
and in those ones, I can't bring my damn fire. Absolutely no. I better call another friend.
You
That's
better.
what I
and
better
that's
do.
why you have friends for different.
That's what I better do. You're gonna have to figure out how to speak like her. Okay? I need advice like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like,
Oh my
these like
God, yeah.
severe.
Someone's been left at the altar.
Yeah.
Is that level 1?
No.
Yeah, you're at the altar and he says no, like in Love is Blind.
I'm
he
not
says
saying
no.
it's
girl.
not, it's level 6. But level 1, level 1s are pertaining losses. Those ones are like
Death, divorce.
divorce is pretty bad as well.
Is that level 1? Is divorce level 1?
No.
So even a divorce from me, I wouldn't get level 1 treatment.
Level 2 for sure. Think about level 1, Joe. Level 1.
Okay, yeah.
There's pain for sure.
Severe illness, like I get severely sick. That's level
there's
1.
those, those ones. There's some ones which are just like a life circumstances that is just like we're not navigating
never
through
having
this.
a problem,
You are
yeah.
only learning to be with it. Those are
Yeah.
grief. Grief is learning to be with it. It's not changing. It's not getting better. It's
Yeah.
just
We are
period.
just, yeah.
Exactly. Whereas a lot of divorce can't be navigated. It is a loss though. It is definitely a loss. It's something that you need to grieve for sure. But yeah, deaths. Whoa.
Oh God. I pray God sustains our friendship through any level 1 that we may ever experience.
Amen.
Or any
I
level
feel like
anything.
there's a cap of like years that we've been friends since 2019, right?
5 years only.
No, Joe, I feel like that's pretty. But how long have we been like close?
Maybe 3 of those.
Yeah. So I feel like after like 5, it's just like you're being put in the
Now we
cupboard.
are
You're
exactly
going
less-
nowhere. You're going absolutely nowhere. But even now,
know,
I feel like
except-
what we have
yeah.
experienced and what we've shared in these 3 years
Yeah,
are more than like some of my 20-year friendships.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's like been a lot of life.
Yeah, no,
you see.
I it would take a lot. No, I would forgive you through a lot.
Through a lot?
Oh my God.
Thank you.
So much.
I'm safe
and
and
I know
secure.
that you're not willing to exercise that muscle. Like, oh, how much you're
Oh
not.
yeah, no.
So
definitely.
there you go.
Thank you.
Anyway, guys, that was it. That feel like we could have a couple more. But what you guys can do is give us as many of yours below, like things that you learned. Also, it could be like things like I was a shit friend.
Oh,
Let's
right,
have
yeah.
conversations like that a bit more, because that was one of mine. Sometimes you're not a good friend.
That's it.
Sometimes it was you who acted like shit. Sometimes it was you who fell below the bar that was expected of you.
Yep.
So anyway, let us know, guys, in the comments what you've really experienced in your friendship, what you've learned the hard way. And let's share, let's learn from each other. And we can't wait to see you in the next episode. Don't forget, TMI Live Experience, August 31st, Shamba Cafe. You know where you need to be, and we can't wait for all of you guys looking colorful in your Ankara and denim.
So come Kapoa. I
Yeah,
can't wait for the
I can't wait
pictures.
how it's going to
I cannot
look.
wait for
I
those
can't
pictures.
wait.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.